All right, welcome back from your break, from our break, actually. I hope you all had a good break. Did you have enough time to do, some stretching or preparing coffee? Anything, pleasant for you?
Yes, I drink my tea, so everything is okay.
Yay! That's good. It's always good to treat ourselves well, right? That's very very important to do. Treat ourselves well. Um, I think we were talking about some dialectal differences in the previous half, right? Australia versus New Zealand, North England versus South England, Georgia versus Brahmi. But the second one is not like there's a North England and South England, but you know that the speaker or YouTuber specified that somehow, um, despite there are so many different dialects in England, people in the South tend to have some specific vowels that in the North sound different, right? Particularly the wedge a, as in some or love, is pronounced som and love in the North of England. And as I think Christelle mentioned, the difference between Geordie and Brahmi, particularly for diphthongs, right? A versus E. Great, great. Bake, bake. So that's interesting to know many differences because in that way, if you know what to expect, probably it's going to the comprehension. Um, this is Philippine English. Philippine English. I would like to share with you this video. The speaker talks about this variety of English. Do you remember in which circle, if you remember Katru or Kakrut's theory, right? Do you remember which circle Philippines is placed in? The inner circle, the outer circle, or expanding circle? What do you think? No idea?
Outer circle.
The outer circle, all right. All right. The outer circle. Let me write that here. The, sorry, the outer circle. Okay. So I don't want to forget this. So let's see what differences he talks about whenever he is describing this type of English, Philippine English. And I think he's comparing this type of English with American English. Let's take a look at what he has got to say. Same thing, grab a piece of a paper, a pen, and then we're going to discuss some of the differences, right, in this comparison, in this comparative analysis. I want to show you from minute 8:45 because he talks about, he talks about this.
Expanding circle includes countries where English is spoken but where it does not necessarily have a colonial history or primary or official language status. This includes nations such as China, Japan, South Korea, Egypt, Nepal, Indonesia, Israel, Korea, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, USSR.
So, but this is not what I want to show you. There's a lot of information here. I'm going to copy and paste the link anyway if you want to watch this video, the whole video. But the point that I want to show you is right here in minute 8, second 45. Here we go.
How about in the Philippines?
Sorry.
Hello everyone, we are now on our week 4 English and British English. How about in the Philippines? We also have our own variety of English which is known to be Philippine English or Filipino English. It is the English language as used in the Philippines, a state of Southeast Asia consisting of more than 7,000 islands. Philippine English is a legitimate nativized variety of English. It is a language used by Filipinos in controlling domains such as in science and technology, judiciary, legislature, bureaucracy, higher education, scholarly discourse, and the like. While it shares some of the linguistic properties ascribed to other varieties of English, especially those used in Asia, it has features that are unique to it. Only in the Philippines do we eat dirty ice cream, cook in dirty kitchens, get kilig over romantic movies, and we watch with our barkada and pay KKB when we dine in Carinderia, where we are asuki. The rest of the English speaking world, however, may now use these Philippine English terms, which are among the latest additions in the Oxford English Dictionary, like barkada, which means a group of friends, buko juice, which means a drink made from the clear, watery liquid inside unripe coconut, carnapper, which means a car thief or a person who steals a motor vehicle. Despedida, which means more fully despedida party or a social event honoring someone who is about to depart on a journey or leave an organization. Dirty kitchen, which means a kitchen where everyday cooking is done by household staff. Gimmick, which means a night out with friends. Halo halo, which means a dessert made of mixed fruits, sweet beans, milk, and shaved ice. Kikay, which means a girl or woman interested in beauty products and fashion. KKB, or kanya-kanyang bayad, literally each one pays their own. Mabuhay, which means an exclamation of salutation or greeting. Pandesal, which means a yeast-raised bread roll made of flour, eggs, sugar, and salt. Pulutan, which means food or snacks provided as an accompaniment to alcoholic drinks. Sinigang, or in Filipino cookery, it is a type of soup made with meat, shrimp, or fish and flavored with a sour ingredients such as tamarind or guava. Suki, a buyer or seller involved in an arrangement whereby a customer regularly purchases products or services from the same provider in exchange for favorable treatment. Utang na loob, which means a sense of obligation to return a favor owed to someone. Now, here are some differences in terms of pronunciation between American English and Philippine English. For American English, it's Indian, while for the Philippine English, it's Indian. For American English, mountain. Philippine English, mountain. American English, cupboard. Philippine English, cupboard. American English, calcium. Philippine English, calcium. American English, potassium. Philippine English, potassium. American English, restaurant. Philippine English, restaurant. American English, coupon. Philippine English, coupon. American English, new. Philippine English, new. American English, spinach. Philippine English, spinach. American English, backpack. Philippine English, backpack. American English, ingredient. Philippine English, ingredient. American English, Facebook. Philippine English, Facebook. American English, biscuit. Philippine English, biscuit. American English, internet. Philippine English, internet. American English, McDonald's. Philippine English, McDonald's. In terms of use for American English, they call this as flip-flops, while for the Philippine English, we call it as slippers. For American English, it's fridge, while for the Philippine English, it's ref or rep. For American English, it's napkin, while for the Philippine English, it's tissue. For American English, it's AC, while for Philippine English, it's aircon. For American English, it's bunk bed, while for Philippine English, it's double deck. For American English, it's cracker, while for Philippine English, it's biscuit or biscuit. For American English, they call it as first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. While for Philippine English, it's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6. In sum, Philippine English is a highly intelligible and acceptable language. Its vocabulary is dynamically expanding, and its rules and conventions in grammar, style, and usage is flexible and eclectic. Because
All right, sorry to interrupt the video, but then I would love to discuss some of the elements that you consider to be the most interesting from the video. What are some ideas that you would like to make comments about from the video and this Philippine English? What call you? Yes, go ahead.
Why they say pandesal? I was like,
Pandesal, right. Amaya, you're raising your hand?
Yes, I'm really interested. The Philippine language is really based in so many languages as well, like English, like Spanish, and it's really fun because uh, he was comparing the two words in USA and in Philippines, and I started to thinking, "Oh, well, this is like when um a native Spanish speaker started to learn in English and he don't know how the phonetic works, so he started to read the words like they are writing,
Uh-huh.
and it was really fun because backpack. Uh, in Philippines they name it backpack, and you say it's another. Uh, and it was like that. There is Philippines have this Spanish. Oh, I don't remember how to say raíces, but have this
Roots,
Spanish in
heritage.
yes, it is Spanish, and it's really fun and really familiar.
Absolutely. I think it's called Spanish heritage. Um, yeah, absolutely. I'm not an expert. I love history, just like you said, Amaya. And there was, uh, just like Chile, uh, they were a colony of Spain. So I think Spain was, or the Spanish monarchy ruled over this country for about 100 years, if I'm not mistaken, because I think I read this a long time ago. And just like in Louisiana, United States, in the south of United States, in Louisiana, you can see the influence of course, the British Empire, but also the Spanish and also the French. So it's a very interesting combination of cultural influences that you see when you read the names of the streets or the people's names or some aspects connected with culture, such as, or there are cultural elements like music or paintings or writings. So it's a combination of different cultures, just like in Philippines, in which you can see a British influence, but also Spanish. Pan de sal was very interesting, right? Patricio, anything that called your attention from this description first, and then this comparative analysis?
Um, I think that the Spanish words that they used, they were not like just one. I mean, I counted like four maybe, and
Uh-huh.
that really surprised me because they are in the Philippines and they are talking English, but they are also giving a Spanish words similar to the English ones. So it was like uh, really weird but fun at the same time.
Uh-huh. Exactly, my own feelings. Sorry. Claudia, anything that called your attention from this presentation, from this video? Sebastian?
The same. I think it was very interesting. They had many dialects to name things in difference to American English.
Right. Right. So it would be very interesting to know what happened here, right? I mean, knowing a little bit about the history of the country, in which way the Spanish became an influence before, and also understanding the concepts of expressions, because he talked about many cultural elements that had to do with food or with friends, right? Do you remember anything that he mentioned at the beginning when he was describing words that they used?
One word was barcada, something like that.
Uh-huh.
So for me, I have never heard that before, and I think if someone from another maybe country listen to that word, it will be like a little bit lost, I guess, because I cannot like relate that word to any other. So
Right, barcada, a group of friends. Wasn't something like that?
yeah,
Yeah. And any other that you remember?
I don't remember how they said when a woman is interested in makeup. My
Was it Kikai?
Kiga, that one.
Okay. Yeah, like a fashionista. Yeah, a woman very influenced that was into fashion. And anything else that you remember? Any other expression?
BVK or not? BVK. But I don't remember the meaning of that.
KGB, I think it was related to money.
KGB. Right, I think it was connected with going out with people, and but each one paying his or her own share. I think. How do we call that in Spanish? Al americana? How do you call it? We call it like that when I was young. How do you call it nowadays? If you go out with people, and each one pay his or her own expenses. Do you have a word for that? Do you have an expression now? No?
Sorry, what?
when when I was young and I went out with my friends and each one paid for example, if I had a For example, if I had a sandwich and a beer, and I would pay for my sandwich and my beer, but I would not pay for somebody else's. And we call that a la americana. So all the expenses were divided because each one would pay for his or her own food and drinks. And I think he said KKB. Do you have an expression nowadays, you as young people, that you use when each one of you pays for your own expenses? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. All right. So it was an expression that we used in my generation. And in the second part, he started to refer to the difference in pronunciation. He mentioned, if you remember, calcium, restaurant, coupon, Facebook, right? And he referred to the differences in terms of pronunciation. So that was a very interesting, because eventually the difference in terms of pronunciation came from also the influence of um, of other languages spoken in Philippines and the culture itself. So let's talk about this comparative analysis or a report. Um, it is a report because you're going to do some research first, right? You're going to find information, you're going to make it into a presentation, and then you're going to inform about this. It's oral because you don't have to send anything written, okay? This is evaluated, right? It's evaluated. It goes with a grade. You will have time to work on this, and it's a comparative analysis because describing a dialect, and then you're comparing this dialect with another one. So this task, right, can be done individually or in pairs. For example, now, as participants, we have Amaya, Cristobal, Claudia, Patricio, and Sebastian. Maria Fernandez is not here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 participants, including Maria Fernanda. So we can have 3 pairs, or if you prefer, you could work individually. Okay, so what do you have to do? You need to choose. There's a very interesting list of English dialects in this website, in Wikipedia, blah, 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 list of dialects of English. And you can find one dialect. Hopefully the idea is that you can remember the circles proposed by Katru. We have the inner, we have the outer, and the expanding. So hopefully you can select one dialect from the inner or the outer, and another one from the expanding circle. Okay, so what's the idea? The idea is that you can describe the dialects, right, and then compare them, like a Venn diagram. If you're not familiar with a Venn diagram, maybe you are. Are you familiar with the Venn diagram?
Nope.
No? Okay. So in a Venn diagram. These are 2 words, by the way. Venn diagram. You describe one thing. You describe another thing, and then some aspects that are in common are the similarities. So you may find the similarities that there are between these 2 dialects. The differences are in each one of the circles. The similarities are in the center. That's sort of a Venn diagram. For example, if you compare books and movies, what do they have in common? I don't know. A book and a movie has characters, for example, right?
Both tell a story.
Exactly. Uh-huh. What are some of the differences? Um, for example, a movie or a film would be recorded, would use a camera. A book would not use a camera. So in this Venn diagram visually helps you to see what the differences are and what the similarities there are. Okay, but just visually. So for each one of the dialects, you're going to find out a little bit about the history of the country and the dialect. For example, Philippine English. Interesting. Pandesal, despedida. Um, but then Barcada, Suki. So there are some elements that are considered to be from a Spanish origin and others not. Now, why? Why is that? Why is that? And so from the history, you may find out about the Spanish influence, that they were at some point a Spanish colony. Okay, so that's why it's important to find out about the history. Uh, then languages. Maybe it's not just about English. They also speak other languages. Some indigenous languages. Sometimes they have two or three languages that have the same linguistic status. They are as important as English. Okay, so that would be the second component of your oral report. Um, what about the speakers? How many speakers are there in this country? How many of those speakers speak English as a second language? How many of them speak other languages? Okay. Then provide some characteristics of the dialect in terms of pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Just like the first part of this speaker in the video, he mentioned that they used words were very connected with their culture, like dirty kitchen, halo halo, pandesal, sinigang, suki, utang milub, and then so he described some of the words that they used and then some of the words that they used but with a different pronunciation. And then in the sample analysis, you may provide a comparison, and then maybe you can provide some examples from a video. So it would be good to for you to find a sample video from which you can get some ideas. Please, at any moment, interrupt me if you have questions, comments, anything connected with this.
Teacher,
Yes, sir.
so we have to choose three dialects or not? Or only one? Because you said one for the inner, the outer, and the expanding circle. Circle.
Yes, you have to choose. Well, first you need to decide whether you're working individually or in pairs.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working individually, you have to describe and talk about two dialects, right? If you're working, for example, let's suppose you're working with one of your classmates, then you choose one, your classmate uh, chooses another one, and then you make the comparison. Okay? When I said one from the inner, I mean, there must be two dialects in the oral report. One of them can be from the inner, outer, or expanding circle. The second one needs to be from a different circle. I don't know if I'm explaining myself with this. Um, for example, let's suppose that you choose a dialect from England, but in England you have different dialects. For example, the Mancunian from Manchester, the Scouse, right, from the well, you can uh, Liverpool, right? Um, so from the north, or Cockney from London, right, the working class. So if you decide on England, even in England, you have to be more specific. The same thing if you decide, for example, United States. In United States, there are so many different dialects. For example, Pennsylvania Dutch, Appalachian English, English spoken in New York, etc., etc. So you can choose one dialect from the inner circle. Even if you, Cristobal, for example, choose one from the inner circle, from United States, you can talk about the accent spoken in New Orleans, for example, and another of your classmates may choose United States as well, but may choose a different dialect in United States. So I don't think we're going to be having lots of repetitions. And then the second option should be uh, a dialect from the either the outer circle or the expanding circle. You can even have samples from I don't know, from Chile. There's a website called Idea that also have the link in the PowerPoint presentation. It's called dialectsarchive.com, and if you are watching this, you can click here where it says dialects and accents, and you can choose anywhere here. For example, Caribbean, and the you can choose any of these islands, right? For example, I don't know, Jamaica. Why not? And in Jamaica, you have several speakers here: female, males, their ages, when they were born, and where. Okay, I don't know, just an example. I don't know if you can listen to this. Can you listen to this sample?
No.
No, teacher.
Sorry.
Near the Duke Street Tower. That era was much nearer for her and to her liking. Even so, on her first morning, she felt stressed. She ate a bowl of porridge, checked in checked herself in the mirror, and washed her face in a hurry.
Um,
Then she put on a
were you able to hear this now? The sample? Yes? No? Do you want me to share this again? Okay, thank you. So this is another website in which you can find linguistic samples, speakers from different places of the world, to help you for your assignment. Or you can go to YouTube and I mean, I went to YouTube and I found many different samples from speakers from other from any of the three circles. Okay, so going back to the PowerPoint presentation. First, let's see. Do you need more time to decide whether you're working with this individually or in pairs, or you want to decide that now? Because you don't have to choose to make that decision right now, but think about that, right? What are the pros and cons? Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is which dialects are you going to choose? If you're working individually, you will have to choose two dialects. If you're working in pairs, you will choose one dialect each of you, and then you're going to make the comparison, right? It's very important to understand a little bit of history. For example, if the country was a colony of Britain, how long was it a colony? When did it get its independence or become independent? And a little bit of history, I think it's going to be quite good. How many languages are spoken there? How many languages have official recognition by the state? How many speakers speak English as a first, second, or native or as a foreign language? How many speakers speak other languages? And the characteristics of the dialects, along with the comparison you can make with the second dialect that you're going to be describing. Okay, I would be looking at this task as a task that you can give or that you can approach in say between 10 to 15 minutes. Between 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions.
When do we have to present this oral task?
As long as you're ready, you can start presenting this. We're going to give some time. You can work with this next class, and I think you can give your presentation probably during the assessment week. Is that all right?
So it will
When
be
is the assessment week?
21 to 23.
Yes, the week when Christmas is that week. Any other question? Yes, any other questions, guys?
Yes,
Sorry.
teacher.
Go ahead, Amaya.
No, you go.
Sorry to bother you again with this question, but even though we do the task individually or in pairs, we have to choose two dialects and describe and compare them, right? That's the task.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but yes, because essentially the oral report is a comparative analysis. So if you have only one dialect, it's only a descriptive analysis of one dialect. So there wouldn't be any comparison if you don't have two.
Okay.
Questions? Do you have any other questions?
Yes, teacher. Only to know if I understand the task. It will be comparing two languages, and we need to explain in this report, this oral report, all the points you show us here, right?
Not two languages, two dialects. And yes,
Sorry.
yeah, because when we talk about languages, we talk about, for example, Spanish and English. So we don't understand each other, even though there might be some cognates. but essentially they are two different systems of communication. That's why they are languages, right? So yes, but two dialects. And first, you have to describe the dialects. And after the description, you need to go to the comparison phase. So first description and then the comparison. I think it will be wonderful for you and for me that you could work in pairs, not because I think there's a lot about the interaction. Sorry. So it would be good to have you working with someone, because that gives you the possibility to get more ideas, more people thinking, more people working. I think it's better to always to work with someone else. It's always good to have another perspective. I don't know what you think about that, but I'm okay if you decide to work individually. I just think that you're going to have to work the double. So, Amaya, Cristóbal, Claudia, Patricio, and Sebastian, you have some decisions to make. Maria Fernanda is not here, but I think she's going to have the possibility to watch this class later, as is being recorded. As soon as you have the decision, let me know. I'm going to create I'm going to post a link in the LMS, okay? And this link will take you to Google Doc, like an Excel spreadsheet. And there you're going to type your name, Amaya Fuensalida, or Amaya Fuensalida and Cristóbal Contreras, if you're working together, as an example. And then in the other columns, you're going to write the two dialects that you're going to be working with. Okay? So I'm planning to post the link very soon, between today and tomorrow. And as soon as you're ready, you can go to the link and fill in the information with your names and the dialects that you're going to be describing and comparing. Okay? So I'm going to say goodbye now, because I need to go somewhere else. Attend another meeting. And but in case you have any questions, let me know through an email or through Teams as well. And I'll see you next session. Remember that you will have time to work on this oral report next class. But also, I encourage you to try to find information during your time, your self-study time. If you decide working with someone else, try to get in touch also um, uh, beyond the class, right? So you can have some ideas ready, so you can discuss them with Miss Cabeza or myself. On Tuesday, I think we're having regular classes on Tuesday because it's the 15th. It's not a holiday, right? So I'll see you on Tuesday. If you have any questions, of course, I'm open to listen to the questions now. If you don't have any questions now, let me know any questions that you might have later, right?
All right, teacher.
Alrighty, so enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you next session on Tuesday. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. You too. See you later.